York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
What's going on? This is Jay Ellis from the Knick of Time show. Here giving you that Knicks talk just in the nick of time. I know I have the wrong ticker up, but it's okay because the Knicks beat the Magic 121 to 106. Right? OG Anunoby gives you 18 points, 2 blocks, 2 assists, and give you 7 out of 10 from the field. Josh Hart had a good day and had a triple-double with 11 points, 10 assists, and 13 rebounds on the night. All right. Shouts out to Josh Hart. Karl-Anthony Towns had a tough game with 23 points, 15 rebounds. Bridges continues with 19 points and 5 assists. Brunson gives you 21 points and 4 assists. And the Knicks continue the trend of passing the rock and gave you 30 assists on the night. The Knicks also keep winning the rebound battle and give you 49 rebounds to the Orlando Magic's 46, and they cruise to victory against the Orlando Magic. And you know what? I call this a statement win. It's not a championship team, but it's a really good team. Okay, it's a team that's supposed to be the best defense in the league, and the Knicks destroyed it. I'm going to talk about it all, the good, the bad, the ugly, and really, it's just a lot of good today. It's a lot of good today, and I'm excited to talk about the good that happened with this Knicks win. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this show, everybody out there watching the Knick of Time. So shout out to everybody in my TikTok land. Shout out to Kevin Dad. Shout out to Emmanuel Jacquez. Shout out to Abidala Saba. Shout out to Janya Mace. Shout out to the TikTok crew. Shout out to Vince Tunai. Shout out to Jade. And if you have questions, you want to say something, shout out to Alfredo and TikTok. If you have a question, you have a comment, I will read it on air to you guys. So shout out to my TikTok folks. Shout out to my Ride or Die on YouTube, Jean-Marc Alexander. Shout out to Fritz, the best mod in the game. As Parker, everybody else is rock with the KOT show. Shout out to my guy Sire as well. All right. Let's get into it. Shout out to my viewers over. Jade, I see you. Shout out to you, Jade. Shout out to Great Homes Resolutions watching the show. Shout out to Land Shark watching the show as well. All right. I will read your comments TikTok and I'll read your comments YouTube. So stay with me. You know what? This win was special to me for a reason. All right. Shout out. Thanks for the love, TikTok. This game was special to me for a reason. Although this is not a championship team in the Orlando Magic, there still is a team to be reckoned with. Wagner has done well for himself with Pablo going down an injury. They are the top defensive team in this league, and the Knicks came up for the task. They started the game, according to Clyde, talking a lot on defense with their drills, and it seemed like they were more focused on putting together a more cohesive performance today. And why I love this performance in particular, because guys, when we envisioned the Knicks putting Mikal Bridges with OG Anunoby, with Karl-Anthony Towns, with Josh Hart, with Jalen Brunson, when we envisioned all these guys coming together, shout out to Austin Volsky, I see you. This is the vision that we had. A vision of 5-out team. Every guy being dangerous offensively. Every guy being able to hit threes. And at the same time, everybody being able to at least hold their weight defensively. Our wing stop is back. Wing stop is back. OG Anunoby did a good job, although he did have some foul trouble. Did a good job causing havoc on the defensive end. Mikal Bridges also did a good job on the defensive end, reading the rotations, rotating to the corner, taking away those corner 3 pathways for Wagner as a release valve if he gets caught up in the middle. The team defense was on point today. And that's something that I really liked from this team. Also, Karl-Anthony Towns. Defensively, I've been saying on this program more and more, I am complaining less and less about Karl-Anthony Towns' defense. Shout out to Edwin, who just entered the chat on TikTok. I see you, my guy, and Alan B. All right. I've been complaining a lot less about Karl-Anthony Towns on defense, and I really liked what I saw today. There was a few times when OG Anunoby got switched off of him because of a pick. Karl-Anthony Towns had to meet him at the center, and there's a few times he deterred his floaters in the paint, his forays in the paint. Not only that, there was the time when Karl-Anthony Towns got switched on to Wagner at the three-point line and caused him to miss. Caused that man to miss. Kept up with him, kept up with his dribble moves, could not get a clean shot off. One of the best defensive plays of the game, or maybe of the season for Karl-Anthony Towns, besides the block he did at the rim, because I'm not going to hold you, don't look now. The rim defense for these Knicks are looking a lot better this point in the season than in the beginning. But just the know-how, the wherewithal to stay with Wagner on the three-point line as he dribbles is something you just don't really expect from Karl-Anthony Towns full time, and he's done that for us today. So gunshots for the Knicks collective team defense is something that I enjoy. It's something that we're going to have to keep building on if you want to be a championship team. And when I saw this game today where I seen everybody clicking on offense, everybody pulling the weight together on defense, this is the first time all season where I'm looking at this team like, all right, this is what a championship team could look like. I'm not saying we got it in the bag. I'm not elite. I'm not saying it's all the way in the bag, but this is the vision. This is the vision for sure. Shout out to Bob. Also, I want to talk about Cat a little bit more. There has been this moniker when Karl-Anthony Towns' name is mentioned with a lot of the greats that he is soft. We all seen the videotape of him being put in a headlock against Joel Embiid, screaming, of him getting to scuffles. And that moniker of soft has been on Karl-Anthony Towns, even by me, even by my Knicks Nation. Before this trade, that was it. That's what we branded it as. And today, it was a good sight to see Karl-Anthony Towns fight back, play tough against a tough defense, against a tough player in Mo Wagner, who was fouling the hell out of Karl-Anthony Towns. Shoulder checked him at the elbow. One of my favorite plays of the game was when Karl-Anthony Towns took the shoulder foul in his face, looked at the ref in disgust, looked at Mo Wagner, shook it off, did a little shimmy, and proceeded to hit a Jordan fadeaway-like move over his hands. One of the plays of the game to me for Karl-Anthony Towns. Loved what I saw from him. And not only that, the passing was good, the defense was good. He did a good job of running the offense when Jalen Brunson was on the bench. Complete game from Karl-Anthony Towns. Although the shooting wasn't as good as it's been for long, but he's only human. I still feel like this man is not getting his fair share of foul calls. But overall, he's still done well for himself. He's done well for himself and had a pretty good game overall. Karl-Anthony Towns, 23 points, 15 rebounds on the night for Karl-Anthony Towns. So shout out to Karl-Anthony Towns. Also, 2 blocks. The rim protection. The hands going up sooner. The footwork is moving. He's being more aware of weak side help. It's coming together. He's putting more plays together defensively for longer stretches of time. it definitely seems like Tom Thibodeau's defensive mindset is starting to set into the way that Karl-Anthony Towns plays defense. Not that he's going to be a defensive juggernaut, but he seems like he's building slowly. So shout out to Karl-Anthony Towns. Really good job. Really, really good job. Also, since the talk has been about Mikal Bridges so far this season, I want to also concentrate on Mikal Bridges, who's put together another good performance in a Knicks uniform after being bullied this entire time. Mikal Bridges shot well once again. Mikal Bridges, final stats for the night. As I look these up real quick, 19 points, 5 assists, 2 steals with 2 rebounds. And when you're looking at his impact of the game, plus 33 on the night, that's the story in between the story. That lets you know the type of defense that this man is playing today. Did a really good job rotations. His rotation was super aggressive. There was a time when the Orlando Magic was doubling Jalen Brunson. And Jalen Brunson had to kind of move around and find his themes. Mikal Bridges picked his spots perfectly to cut and found his way into like a mid-range game a few times, found his way to hitting a corner 3 a few times. He's even hitting the above the break threes, something that he wasn't hitting earlier in the season, and he's starting to all put it together. So Mikal Bridges has been one of the top 2-point shooters in the league, has been shooting more fadeaways at a better percentage than Kevin Durant and Luka Doncic. And that was a sight to behold. He hit a couple of threes tonight that was just good, and a couple of important ones. And the funny thing is, you'll see the 2 for 6 number for Mikal, but he's also been hitting some bailout threes too. But so overall, great job by Mikal. Solid game. To me, this is one of the, we haven't seen a game where Mikal and OG both played well offensively together since this Knicks season started. And today, I feel like it's the first time he's like, all right, both Mikal and OG really seem to have a rhythm with us. OG, after being abysmal from the 3-point line, I think he missed 16 straight before he hit a 3 today, was 7 for 10 from the field, 4 or 7 from 3, played really good defense, even though he got some fouls against Wagner, held Wagner to 42% field goal percentage in the first half, made it very difficult for him to get things off. And also, what I've seen from OG, there was a synergy between OG and Mikal Bridges. OG was moving well without the ball. You saw OG shooting movement threes. I saw Mikal creating, throwing the ball to the corner, anticipating OG getting there, OG getting to the spot and shooting a movement 3 in the corner. Something I don't usually see from OG Anunoby. I saw from him today. Also did a great job of posting, drop step, turning, scoring those buckets. Did a good job of blocking shots, intimidating. Solid all around OG Anunoby game. Great game from OG Anunoby. For sure. All right. And before I move on, I'm gonna just shout out to my peoples on YouTube because I see you. Shout out to Alexander. Actually, you know what, guys? Let me open up the Discord. Let me open up the Discord because the Discord is open. Although my volume might not be the best, I'm not sure if I'll be able to hear you that well. I'm getting new speakers, headphones tomorrow, but maybe I can try to see if I can hear you guys. But I'm gonna see if I can open up the Discord for you guys to come in. All right. If anybody's interested in getting to this Discord. Can I get to the Discord today? And I see Fritz is in the Discord. Shout out to Fritz. Okay, I see you, my guy. Best mod in the game. Give me a second. Create invite. You know the crazy part, guys, too? Like my eyes are going, so it's hard for me to see. I'm gonna do this anyway because I do this in my sleep. All right. Here we go. Discord link is being in the chat right now. So Discord link is in the chat. I'm pinning the link to the top as well. If you guys want to hit the Discord, come on through. All right. Come on through. But shout out to the chat. Shout out to Picks for Timmy. Shout out to Alexander. Shout out to Fritz. Shout out to Africa Bob. Is that Africa? It's Alrika Bob. Which is absolutely cat has come a long way. Yes, actually, he has come a long way defensively. Picks for Timmy says boards are no longer the key indicator with this group. It's assists 30 or more equals a win. I agree with you. I feel like there's two things that has to happen. It's the assist and the defense have to be on point. Like I said, usually the Knicks have struggled when there has been switching defenses. Today, the Magic, they doubled, which kind of bodes well for us. You know what I mean? Because I feel like Jalen Brunson knows how to deal with double teams. And also we have some cutters on here. So if he moves around, he'll find you and find the passing lane. So I think the Knicks overall have done well navigating how to beat teams who double a lot, especially Jalen Brunson. He's been doing that all for the last few years. I still want to see how we deal with switching teams. And ironically, we're going to be playing the Atlanta Hawks in our matchup. Atlanta Hawks are a switching team, so I'm very curious to see how that's going to look when the Knicks play the Atlanta Hawks. For sure. Yeah, but moving on, and speaking of Jalen Brunson, you know what impressed me about Jalen Brunson this game? And it's been what's been impressed me so far this season. It's his pulse of the game. Jalen Brunson started off this game, I feel like, scoring the ball. I think he might have scored 8 points. He read the pick and rolls well. He rejected screens. He was isoing. He read the doubles, got the ball to the open man. But it really looked like the game started off where Jalen Brunson was going to be the engine of this game and score like 30 or 40. And then all of a sudden you look up at halftime and he's at 8 points and there's 5 players on his team who were in double figures. So to me, that kind of shows the growth where he's starting to pick his spots more. It's like, you know what? I don't even have to score right now. My teammates have it going. I can just pass it to Mikal. I could just do a pick and roll with Karl-Anthony Towns. I can get everybody else involved and let everybody else eat. And when they need me, and when I see a certain defense, that's when I'll attack. And that's what I liked about Jalen Brunson's game today. He was very deliberate and efficient on how and when he attacked. And he's been having these monster assist games. Really didn't have to today because when you're being doubled so much, you have to get up off the ball. And so although he doesn't get the gaudy assist numbers, he did the best thing for his team, which is get off the ball quickly, which sometimes causes other teams to get the assist, and he'll get like the hockey assist. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, Jalen Brunson ends up with 21 points and 4 assists, and the team was playing so well that he didn't even have to play in the fourth quarter. Didn't have to play in the fourth quarter at all. So that makes that 21 points and 4 assists even better because he ended up only playing 26 minutes on the night. So really great game, floor general type of game from Jalen Brunson, who did exactly what he was supposed to do tonight, facilitate and score, and picked his spots perfectly. And I see a super chat. I see a super chat from YouTube. So shout out to John. Shout out to John Mark, who's been a great supporter for the channel since the $5 super chat. Says, I hate it when we get out hustled on the offensive boards. Can't wait for Mitch to come back. Good job, Jay Ellis. Appreciate that, man. I'm handling Solo Dolo. Lee's having dinner. He said he might be back, but it might take a while. I was actually having a couple of technical difficulties anyway with the sound. So it's fine that I did the show by myself today. I'll have new speakers tomorrow. I'll be able to hear everybody. So it kind of just worked out anyway. I'm glad you are enjoying this in the show and the breakdown. Thank you for the support for sure. All right. So salute to you. For sure. Salute to you. And salute to TikTok. I don't know if you guys coming in and out. Salute to the TikTok guys as well. The Bushard, Colin Roberts, AMC, and David Jennings. Easy C. Shout out to you guys as well in TikTok land. And thank you. I see there's 2 likes on there. I don't think anybody's here yet or now. They might have left, but thank you guys for the 2 likes on TikTok. All right. All right. And I also want to talk about another important part of the game, which is Deuce McBride and campaign. And, you know, there's different types of chemistry that teams have. Like, I remember playing ball with my godbrother, right? And when we used to come into games, we were kind of the disruptors. We would come into the game, my godbrother, he would full court press you, and I would read the opponents, and I would like kind of play the passing lanes if they can't from the pull full press. And we would get a lot of turnovers that way playing together in our little church league back in the day, right? I kind of feel like campaign and Deuce McBride have that same defensive chemistry where they just both come in together and know, oh yeah, I'm going to muck it up. I'm going to get dirty. Because as soon as they came in, that's when the game really started to turn. The starters, they didn't do bad. The starters started out slow and ended up taking the lead by like, I think 4 points. But when the bench came in, that's when the lead really ballooned. They took like a 12 point. They scored 12 points. They were a plus 12 with Brunson on the bench. And a lot of it had to do with the defense and the turnovers that they forced in that first half that got them off to the races and pat. And not only that, the passing was also there. Campaign did a good job penetrating and kicking. Deuce McBride did an amazing job shooting threes without missing a beat, going straight through the net. And it makes me further believe that when Deuce McBride was in his slump before he got injured, that the slump had to do with his injury and not with Deuce McBride himself. So I was happy to see those guys build a synergy. And because our bench is one of the lowest scoring benches in the league, and I think we had scored, 17 in that first half with those 2 guys. And when you're looking at the final score, campaign had finished with 7 points. And McBride finished with 19. Oh, that was Mikal. I'm sorry. And McBride finished with 18 points. So, and McBride also had one of the plays of the game too. When I don't know who he crossed. Somebody's ankles died on that court today. I don't remember who homie crossed, but he crossed somebody who fell to the ground and he pulls up and hits a 3. Oh. McBride was filthy today, man. McBride was filthy. And I want the Knicks bench to pay attention to what's happening right now. And I want Knicks Nation to also pay attention to what's happening right now. Because once upon a time, Deuce McBride was out of rotation. We were all calling for Tibbs to play him. We were saying he's a bad coach. He doesn't play rookies. He doesn't develop guys. And now Deuce McBride is paid, $3 million a year and is being one of the best bench players in the NBA and one of the best sharpshooters in the NBA. Prototypical 3-and-D guard who can play make just a little bit. So this is what development looks like for these Knicks. And I'm looking at Kolick. I'm looking at Ariel. And I'm looking at Pacome, But we don't really see a lot from these guys now. They're getting spot minutes. But when you're seeing these guys getting spot minutes and you might be getting pissed or upset, just remember that, hey, Deuce McBride was once those guys. And he is flourishing right now and being an integral part of the bench. And that bench is going to get even stronger. It's going to get a lot stronger once Mitch and Precious comes back. And Precious is set to come back next week. So I want you guys to keep an eye on that. But massive job of Deuce McBride and Campaign, who came in and disrupted the Orlando Magic offense. Especially Black. Black couldn't dribble to save his life. The amount of turnovers Black had was crazy. He shouldn't even be in the league. He was scared. He looked like he was scared to dribble. Straight up. Straight up. But salute. Salute to the new bench mob. Salute to the newest bench mob. I don't know if we quite mob deep as of yet, as my guy Raw would say. But salute to the bench mob. And shout out to JT Redick, my guy. That's my trainer in my head, yo. Shout out to JT Redick, who's also a wrestler who be training, who's a weightlifter. He sent a 499 super chat, says, year 082, great win. Shout out to my guy JT Redick for the support. All right. I feel like I touched on everybody I really wanted to touch on. Everybody else was just the garbage time. If you wanted to nitpick on something, that portion of the game where Jalen Brunson sat out for like the pretty much half of the third and the fourth quarter, we seemed like we did have trouble getting the ball in to cut the game to 15. But at that point, it was garbage time, so I don't really read too much into it per se. But I do feel like this is a time where we can get some reps in to see how guys respond. And the Orlando Magic, they still had something to play for. Typically, if you're getting blown out by 30 and you're in the fourth quarter, Magic starters won't be in the game. They wouldn't be in the game. But the Magic starters were in the game and they were playing against our bench players. And Campaign looked a little bit shaky running the offense. They started to get a lot of turnovers. But that's something I'll take with a grain of salt because the Knicks aren't really trying as hard. You know, they're kind of letting go of the rope. We're up 30. The game is already in the bag. You know what I'm saying? So I don't look that much into that situation if you wanna nitpick. Oh my God. Bruh. I forgot to mention something. Josh freaking Hart had a triple-double, and I did not talk about that. I did not talk about that bit. So I'm going to talk about it right now. The fact that Josh Hart, who's supposed to be the weak link in our offense, is playing phenomenal offense is such a big boost for this team. Because he's the guy who's not supposed to be the shooter. He's the guy who's supposed to be the weak link. But he's the guy who's been the heart and the engine and one of the guys we could depend on night to night to give the 100% maximum effort. I love the toughness that he had today. I feel like they could have been 6 or 7 and ones from Josh Hart just driving to the lane and finishing at the rim. One of the best finishers at the rim at his size is 6'5", as well as one of the best rebounders at his size. Hart and sold his team. Cam Reddish trade still worth it. Love what he did to us. The one-man fast break proved himself again today with getting a triple-double. So it's not only he finishing at the rim, him getting to the heart of the defense, be able to kick out, find shooters, find cutters, and rebound. Josh Hart is having a really good season. Really, really good season. Josh Hart did it all, man. Knicks Nation Hart, Knicks Nation TV says Hart for MVP. Yeah, I could definitely see that Hart for MVP for sure. For sure, for sure. All right. JT Reddick says, I needed the captain to score 4 more points. In the words of Josh Hart, fuck your parlay, all right? Tiz did not care, bro. Tiz did not care about your parlay. He is sitting, jiggling down for damn near half a quarter. Picture Timmy said, Cam, still hating on Cam, J. Ellis? I only hated on Cam 2% just for you, Timmy. Just for you. Just for you. But Cam had a good game. The moment when Cam and Deuce came in the game was a momentum changer. That's when the game blew open. That's when the game blew open. Yeah, that's when the game was actually over and the Knicks were plus 12 with those benches when Cam and Deuce McBride came in the game. So those two, that tandem kind of took over for us. Felicia Lee says, Jay Ellis, if Josh Hart doesn't know his role, I don't want him to find it. What? You right about that. If he doesn't know his role, he can just keep looking forever. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Josh, you know where your role is? It's right by that basket over there. Keep looking. Keep trying, sir. But you know what's funny, Felicia? When he talked about he didn't know his role and he seemed lost in offense, a part of me is watching Josh Hart on the Roommate show and watching him in interviews had me thinking he was trolling anyway, yo. Like dead ass. Oh, Lee. Shout out to Lee. Lee's here. Hold on a second. You came right on time, Lee, because I was about to do the ooh and bruh picks. And Lee, just to warn you, my headphones are really low. I'm getting new headphones. So I might have problems hearing you once you get in here. But I'm sending a link right now, Lee. Lee's like, I'm not missing a win. All right, Lee, I sent the link. If the Knicks lost, he would take his time getting back from dinner. But the Knicks won. Jean-Marc said he was trolling. Yeah, I believe you, man. Josh Hart's a troll for real. I do not put trolling above him for sure. For sure. All right, Lee is in the room. Let's go, Lee. Shout out to Lee. My guy. The Latin assassin, Lee Escobedo, is in the building. Came in through late, straight from dinner. Lee, I'm going to remind you, I have problems hearing because my headphones are weird, so I'm going to let you go. If I can hear you, I'll try to respond. But what did you think of the game, man?
Let's see. Can y'all hear me? All right, man. Yes, yeah, I heard your joke. If it was a loss, I would have taken longer at dinner. I'd say this: I would have had dessert because that's pretty true. My time. Look, man, I actually brought my laptop. I ate dinner alone today. I had a chick I was going to bring with me at dinner. She started getting mouthy, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna eat dinner alone and bring my laptop. So I watched the Knicks.
Listen, all y'all ladies out there, if you want to date us, it comes with the territory. You gotta rock the game with us, man. You don't hate because Brunson has a space in my heart, and me not there yet.
Especially against the Orlando Magic, a team who I really thought this was going to be the metric. I said it last podcast. This is really the only good team record-wise that we played this season. I mean, this month. We also played Minnesota, but they've been struggling. I think the players will have extra juice. But this was, to me, the real benchmark because they've been on a tear defensively. They've had the best defensive metric in the last month for November. They've been playing really well without Banchero. And Franz Wagner is really playing up to that contract. He's been balling. But I had some keys to the game that I've been talking about since 2 days ago. I've tweeted about it. I said on the pod, there's a way to stop Orlando. One, don't get too much in drop. Let Cat stay at the line, really guard the three, because their offense really starts unpacking when Wendell Carter Jr. gets looks at the perimeter to hit threes. Also, force Jalen Suggs to make the plays. Force him to shoot off the dribble and force him to playmate off the dribble. Don't let him get into catch and shoot opportunities, because KCP is really their only off the dribble shooter.
Right.
Everyone else is assisted. They need assistant field goals. And Suggs, I thought the game plan was perfect. We kept the ball in his hands. We kept the front court from playmaking. Guys like Wendell Carter Jr., guys like Mo Wagner, very good passers. We kept them as scorers, and we kept Franz Wagner and Jalen Suggs as the guys having to make plays. And that is a key to success against a very thin attrition three-point shooting team like Orlando, worse in the NBA in threes. I thought we did a really good job of running them off the line and keeping those looks really minimal.
I agree. I agree. We did a really good job. And before you came here, I was picking up Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby specifically for rotating and cutting off those corner passes to a lot of those shooters that they had, or so-called shooters that they had in general. And I also gave Cat a lot of props for his defense as well. Well, he had to step up against Mo Wagner a few times, and also did a really good job switching on to Mo Wagner at three-point line and actually stopping him. It's like one of those things that make you go, moments. Is like, how much switching can we do if Cat can keep up with?
Yeah, I love basketball. I love what I do.
Can we lean into that a little bit more? And we haven't been leaning into switching at all so far this season. But can we switch with Cat more?
It's a joy. It's a joyous kind of energy. You've always had that? Yeah, I mean,
but
I hear something in the background. I'm not sure if it's my audio or your audio, but it's like something's talking. Is there an open link tab? I can't tell. Do you hear it?
I don't hear it. Does the audience hear it?
I'm blessed to be able to say that.
I don't think the audience hearing, because I don't think they've said anything.
Whoa, weird. I hear it. It hears at a post game. It sounds like a post game interview.
Basketball at the highest level, and
you hear a post game.
I think it's Jalen Brunson.
You know what? Maybe my Fubu TV is open in the background somewhere.
Yeah, I think you got something open.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah. Okay. Unbelievable win. Games like this is when I start jumping out the window and feeling like we are going to hit 60-game wins because our defense starts looking really good. When Mikal Bridges is scoring over 18 points, I know that sounds arbitrary because he had like 19 tonight, but I really feel like 18 is what I would like for him to give us on a night-to-night basis. When he's at that or above, our offense is, to me, unstoppable. That starting five, man, and the seamless transition when guys like Campaign and Miles McBride, who Deuce has hit another level in his shooting. His confidence is through the roof right now.
Yeah.
Knee soreness be damned. He is playing like a man on a mission, and he's really impressing me in that role even more than IQ did. And that's saying a lot because, like you, I was a huge IQ fan. But Deuce and McBride just bring unbelievable energy off the bench defensively. And no matter who you pair him with, Pollock, Brunson, DiVincenzo, Grimes, he clits and is able to play on or off ball, which is a tremendous advantage to have. I never really liked IQ off ball. Always liked him better on ball. Deuce is a threat, both. He can play whatever role you need from him. And I think as guys start getting back, maybe Shamet, Precious, Mitch, we're going to be even deeper and more dangerous in the type of combinations we can put on the court that both to give you both offense and defense. And when Bridges is playing his game, both on the defensive end and as a catch and shoot option on the perimeter, damn it, I don't know how you defend us. I'm not smart enough. I'm not as smart as Tom Thibodeau or other coaches to figure out how do you stop those five guys when things are clinking, when Josh Hart is that elbow playmaking hub, when Bridges and OG are attacking closeouts and hitting from three, when Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns, well, damn it, John Stockton, Karl Malone, pick and roll, but with way more athleticism and way more range.
Yeah.
It's insane. Those two guys are both having all NBA first team seasons. Karl-Anthony Towns is one of the best rebounders in the NBA. And damn it, Jalen Brunson's become one of the best passers in the NBA. And you didn't even say Karl-Anthony Towns is an incredible passer. I told you, Nick's Twitter, I told you he was a better passer and playmaker than Isaiah Hartenstein and Julius Randle, because I watch other basketball teams. It's how I have a keys to the game to stop Orlando. I enjoy watching ball. I went on a date with myself and watched the Knicks tonight as an example of how locked in I am. This win got me fired up, bro. I'm telling you, I'm going to buy a plane ticket. When we win this championship, I'm going to hop out that cab, chase you down. I'm going to give you the biggest damn bear hug you've ever gotten in your entire life. And we're going to go party all day, bro, when these Knicks win this chip.
You know, I started off the show, Lee, by saying this is the vision of the team where it's like, wow, okay, all 5 starters are clicking offensively. Our defense is clicking. This is what it could look like. If you're like, all right, we're a championship contending team right now. I'm not saying we're going to win a championship like Lee. I said that too. I'm not saying, I know Lee's going to say championship. I'm not there. But this is the blueprint. This is what we envisioned before all this stuff started happening. And we're at like the 21 game mark right now. So the 20 game mark is when kind of you start to see what it could be. It's still weird because we played a lot of crappy teams. Usually, and the Magic, like you said, is like the first pretty good team we've played in a while. But I looks like on the optimistic side, it just looks like we're being more consistent. It looks like we're being more consistent.
I hate to say this, but I feel like every year we need to get absolutely embarrassed by the Dallas Mavericks before Tibbs turns the team around and really gets them a buy-in on defense. And once again, since the Mavericks embarrassed me live and direct in the stadium, we have been on a tear, both as an offensive juggernaut and a defensive lockup team. That 3-man rotation of Hart, Brunson, OG, there used to be teams that we matched up with. I was like, I'm worried about Giannis, or I'm worried about Sengun, or I'm worried about Dame Lillard. Not anymore, man. It don't matter who the other team has as their primary or secondary superstar. We have 3 guys that give 3 completely different looks, that have 3 completely different skill sets, some that are stronger on ball, some that are stronger off ball, some that are stronger playing the passing lanes as the free safety. It don't matter. Those multiple looks give other players hell. It really puts them in a torture chamber, and you got to be someone who has a really high basketball IQ and has playmaking ability to exploit that defense and get other guys involved. Orlando's not it. Franz Wagner is not it yet, and this team got picked apart by the Knicks offensively and defensively, and it's only going to get better when Precious Achiuwa comes back. I'm telling you, all the defensive miscues that have been glaring, the glaring ones, guarding the perimeter, volume, opposing teams' volume on 3, opposing teams' percentages on 3, the movement shooting that's been happening from role players against us, all that will be cleaned up when Precious Achiuwa is reinserted for 18, 20 minutes a game off the bench, because he will be able to truly complement Cat without Cat having to move to the 4, staying to 5, and then you'd have Precious guarding the best front court player, and Cat finally gets a rest and guards only the second best, which typically is the 5th best player on the team. Usually only one of the big men is good, and the other one is more of a rebounder, role player, string setter. So that's going to be an even bigger load off of Cat's shoulders when he doesn't have to guard the great centers, the Embiids or the Jokers or whatever, when you have Precious back. Offensive rebounding, rim protection, storing, maybe a corner 3. Who knows? He was showing some of it. I am super excited about the potential of this team. And this month, Jay Ellis, we have a really easy schedule. We play Orlando once and Minnesota once. Every other game we should win. This is the time for us to build some momentum and get us on track for a 60 burger.
Yo, this
Bro, I'm out the window, man. I am so psyched. This was an awesome win.
60 birds is crazy, yo. Oh my God. I'm gonna see what's happening. Right, we have one of the best offenses in the league right now. Our defense, I think we're ranked like 22. I think it might be ranked 22 right now. I want to see that climb. I want to see that baby climb. The assist, I think we're top 9 assists right now. But the top team averages 30 assists a game. I feel like when we're clicking, we average 30 assists a game. I'm not sure if we'll get quite the 30 assists, but we should get close. But I think we'll be better. We'll be better. The longer we play together, the more things start to mesh, the better we'll get. And I do agree, we're going to be a lot better with Precious here. But to me, the starting 5 still has to get it together. Because The starting five is still going to be playing the most minutes. So although Precious can help take some pressure off, some spot minutes playing next to Cat and stuff, I still feel like our ceiling is as far as our starting five can go.
The three metrics that I look at every single game that can basically tell me if we win or lose based on the numbers. One is rebounds. Number one is, did we win the rebounding rate? Today we did. 39, 37 defensive rebounds, 34 to 28. That's impressive. Second, did we shoot over 90% from the line? Tonight we did. 20 out of 20 free throws. That used to be one of the Achilles heels of this team when we had Randall at the 4 and Mitch at the 5 and close games with that combination were free throws. Teams would play hack-a-shack on Mitch and even hack-a-shack on Randall in some instances. I didn't fully trust RJ as a free throw shooter. Damn it, I didn't really even trust Grimes. These 5 guys, I trust all 5 going to the line in crunch time, especially our center Cat, who will be on the catch for a lot of out of bounds plays. And if he's the one who gets fouled, I have full confidence he can go and knock down 2. And lastly is assists. Did we hit 30 assists? We did. Today we hit 30 to their 20. Those 3 metrics are 3 metrics of a championship caliber team, as long as you get stops when it matters. And that is when Precious and Mitchell Robinson are going to help even more.
Yeah, I agree that the assisting is going to be huge for us. As long as we move the ball, move the rock, we'll get assist. Especially, I'm still waiting to see how we play against the switching defenses. Today we played well. Today they were doing more of doubling. So I like the way we played off of each other when Jalen Brunson was doubled. Brunson did a good job of reading those doubles. The switching defenses is going to be big for me. We play the Atlanta Hawks for the cup play. The Hawks were a team that gave us problems. The Hawks were a team that switched on us a lot. Dyson Daniels really gave Jalen Brunson a hard time. So I have a close eye on that Hawks game. Really close eye on that Hawks game. For sure.
Yeah, but there's no one on Orlando that you can attack or hunt on switches. Atlanta has like 3 guys that you can hunt on switches. Bogey, Trey Young, even Capella. If you start setting high pick and roll ball screens, you can get him and start going downhill on Capella and blow by him with that Brunson's first step. So I think there's a lot of advantages on the same token that Atlanta presents us that Orlando does not. And we did really good against Orlando switching defense tonight. I mean, Jonathan Isaac got burned. I saw it didn't matter who was on Brunson. Brunson was like, I have watched enough tape to know how each of these guys are going to defend me. And I've been defended at a high level now for 3 years in his 3rd year with New York as a primary point of attack. It don't matter what you throw at him, he's going to have an answer for it.
No, I don't think they were doubling. They wasn't really switching on us today. They were doubling Brunson. They were doubling. They were like a lot of fighting over the screens, a lot of trying to trap him. Brunson did a good job of just getting rid of the ball and finding the open man. So I didn't really see a lot of switching from the match today. But Brunson, like I said earlier, did a really good job just kind of picking that defense apart for sure. And the Knicks in general just did a really good job picking that defense apart.
Yeah, I saw when Isaac was in there, they were switching in the second quarter, and they were actually doing that same thing that Tibbs does with OG, where it's an early switch on pick and roll, and they were trying to get Jonathan Isaac on Brunson to really throw him off kilter and cut off his passing lanes with his long wingspan. Didn't matter. Brunson was pulling up from mid-range and just destroying all the defensive schemes with his ability to knock down really crisp jumpers in the mid-range.
Got you. All right, I got Timmy in the chat waiting to talk it up. So, I'll have you respond, Lee, actually. Actually, this is the showdown we've been waiting for anyway, so might as well you talk.
Bring that bum up. Bring that bum up. Bring him up. I'm about to cook his ass.
Hold on. Why can't I drag Tim? There we go.
Don't run now.
Yo, Timmy, you are live on the KOT show. I'm having problems hearing a lot, so I know it's gonna be Lee talking a lot. So, do you hear me?
Yo, what's good, man? What's good, KOT?
Hold on a second.
What's good, man? Can you hear me?
Do you hear me, Timmy? Can you hear him, Lee?
Yeah, I hear him.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, well, Lee will be responding to you because I can't hear him.
Oh, Lee is in here?
Yeah, what's up, bum?
Oh, man. Okay. All right. That's what's up. Well,
Been
what's
waiting for your
good?
ass. Bring those
What's good,
takes.
Leo Escobedo? Was good? My guy, Jay Ellis, man, just called in, man, just to chop it up real quick about a good Knicks win, man. Lee, what are we doing, guy? We were
What's up?
hating on Mikal Bridges. We were loading up a whole train full of angry people with like popcorn and it was just getting mean out here. There were glizzies being thrown all out over the place. It was bad. It was horrible, man. No diddy. But I'm so proud of you for not jumping all the way off the ledge, man. Let's reel it on back in, man. We got a good game from my guy Bridges. We had a triple double, which I really want to harp on, man. As a matter of fact, I'll just go ahead and take all the time to do that since you already covered everything else, Jay Ellis. Josh Hart is a legitimate starting piece. You might actually want to call him really the point guard of our first unit. I love the changes that were made to use him more as a facilitator, and he just has the freedom to be out there to just cause havoc in any way possible every single game. I don't care if that's rebounding, I don't care if that's assist, I don't care if that's steals, I don't whatever you need. Yo, this dude is just out there just getting it. He may not be able to give you, 5 for 5 from the 3-point line, but if it's Philly, that's probably going to happen because he doesn't miss. I don't know why. This dude could be in a slump. Anytime Philly comes to the building, Jay Hart is shooting the lights out. But yo, man, overall, just I'm very excited for the progression of this team. I think as a fandom, we're seeing these first 20 games come to completion, and we have an idea of what we're supposed to look like by the time the playoffs hit. A lot of people are really concerned with how many minutes Tibbs is putting on the starting unit, but the thing that I'm really paying attention to is the fact that we have other people that are going to have to work their way into this rotation eventually, which could be a Shamit, it could be a Mitchell Robinson, it could be a Precious Achua, and those guys would actually be committing 10, 15, 20 minutes a game to the rotation if necessary. So we're giving our starting five an opportunity to build chemistry up front. And even though they're playing a lot of minutes right now, as we get towards the playoffs, you'll see that taper off. Yo, I don't even know what to say about it. I don't even know what else to say about this team, man. If y'all don't realize we outside right now, I mean, just get ready. Get ready, man. We're going to, you know what? I'm jumping out the window, yo. Eastern Conference Finals. We'll see whoever there. Let's go get it, man. Cut out KLT. Later.
Yeah, I was hoping for a more incendiary roast of me and my takes, but I guess I've been making a lot of sense. There's not much to chip apart. I was very hard on Mikal Bridges, and I said it then, and I'll say it again now. Any player who's not playing up to par, not beyond my expectations, but just to my expectations based on prior performance, I'm going to roast. I don't care who you are. I love Julius Randle. I've roasted him. I roasted Jalen Brunson, lost his ante as a follow on Twitter. I don't care. I just try to hold the players accountable to what they should be giving me, especially for 5 first-round picks. And it wasn't so much his offense, which I wasn't too concerned with. It was more his defense, and that's picked up. So I have nothing negative to say about him. I don't even care if he's our third scoring option. Don't even care if he's our fifth. I really don't care the pecking order or the scoring mark for what he's going to give us. I care more about him playing the best on-ball defense he can, guarding the opposing team's point of attack, really fighting over screens, not going under, and really showing on the 3-point line to defend 3-point shots against us when we're on defense. And he's been doing all that in the last 2 games. He's had wild plus minus numbers and on-off numbers. And if he continues it, I'll be his biggest champion moving forward. But to me, our championship rests on him. He is the most important piece to me. He is the X factor. If he performs at the same level he did, not in Brooklyn, but in Phoenix, we're winning it all this year.
I couldn't hear anything, but I can guess what was being talked about. Mikal Bridges plus 33 on the night. So impact was definitely felt tonight. You heard me and Lee have a back and forth about Mikal Bridges earlier about the defense and whose fault it was and da 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 da. I I still don't believe that like it was a complete like I'm just not trying thing. I feel like it was more to it than that. I also do understand that like the defense that he had this year is not the defense that we've seen from Phoenix. And like I said before, like the Brooklyn defensive scheme was completely different. The Brooklyn had a bunch of 6'8" wings, so they were just completely switching for like the last 2 seasons. So the style of play that he had in Phoenix, where he's like, I'm the point of attack defender who's fighting over screens, that's not the style of play that he's been playing for the last few years. And he's kind of had to like reacquaint himself with that style with the Knicks. So is that a part of why it's happening? What's happening, or he's not as good? Maybe. Is it all his fault? I still feel like it wasn't. Is he playing better now? Hell yeah, I'll take it. That's it.
Yeah, just to clarify, never thought it was all his fault. Definitely thought he was the most egregious and the main culprit when it came to defending his man up to par. But I had to also credit Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns for playing better on their pick and roll defense, especially Towns making better decisions on hedging and doubling. Yeah. Thought he was really solid tonight. Maybe his best defensive performance overall. I don't know. I thought he played really well against Joker too, but we knew he was good one-on-one. This was more team defense and rim protecting that we needed for him. And Jalen Brunson playing solid too, doing what he does, taking charges, trying to keep his man in front of him and not be a cone. But Mikal Bridges, him playing Phoenix Suns basketball, what he was as really kind of the 5th option or 4th option on that team, but the number 1 defensive ace. That's what this New York Knicks team needs from him, because there'll be plenty of opportunities in our read and react system for him to get 30 if he's hot. Otherwise, score 10, lock your man up, we're good to go. We don't win by 20. So the role is there for him to do what he wants with it and basically predict his own stats based on his efficiency. And man, back-to-back games, though, got me really feeling championship. I think the worst case scenario is Eastern Conference Finals, but if we did pass Boston, there's honestly not a Western Conference team that worries me. They all present different challenges. None of them worry me to the same level as Boston.
Yeah, I want us to keep building that confidence and building those habits. And I do feel like today was Cat's best defensive game of the season to me. Between the 2 blocks, picking up Wagner, and then picking up Wagner in the paint and then guarding him at the 3-point line one-on-one. Yeah, I think today was his best defensive game to me. And still getting like 4 fouls, not getting the 5th foul. And like even the fouls he got were like kind of weird. He's still getting a weird whistle. The refs are doing this weird thing where they're just completely ignoring any contact after the shot. Where it's like, all right, cool. If I block the shot, I can pretty much punch you in the stomach and it won't be called a foul. I don't agree with it. I don't know when that even happened, because I feel like that wasn't a thing one last season or even the season before. But it's become a thing now where I feel like maybe, I don't know. I feel like it's only been a thing against us. I feel like if we do it, we get called for it. But people will just completely fall on top of Brunson or Cat after a block and nothing will be called. This is very strange to me. It is what it is. Overall, though, best defensive performance by Cat. Sure. All right. Can we get to the Ooh picks, though? This is mad Ooh picks. This is mad. This is a lot. There's a lot. I might want to save one for you. Do you want to go?
Tom Thibodeau, man, there's so much that we're not privy to because the Knicks are such a tight-lipped organization, which I'm thankful for. But he has really drilled in principles on this team that I think were like more complex than some Knicks fans give Tom Thibodeau credit for. And I think the team has taken a little while to adjust to them and to know their role and know where they should be positionally on the court on both sides of the ball. But it seems to come to fruition. I love the renewed concentration on assists and moving the ball while reinforcing the rebounding rate and the rebounding percentage, but also making sure that when we're at the line that we're taking our free throws seriously and we don't give up waste opportunities for points on the board. going 20 for 20. First of all, going to the line 20 times, fairly impressive. Making all 20 of them, even more impressive. And I really like that we have becoming a sound fundamental team. And the things that we can't control, we're doing everything we can to make sure there's a pluses for our team and they're fueling wins. So Tom Thibodeau, man, love the adjustments, love all the additional action that he was doing to get Mikal Bridges open early on in games. I want to give a shout out to one of our followers at BD4Pod who commented about the sets that Tibbs is running for Mikal. He's been doing it since like game 5 or 6. And he brought up the chin and thumb series to exploit switches on pick and roll. And I wasn't super familiar with those terms. I had to look them up, and it gave me an opportunity to learn something new. So if our audience is interested, I will share what I learned. These are both things that the Thibodeau has employed to get Mikal Bridges open on offense, to get him easy shots. And usually the first 5 to 7 plays that are ran, Mikal is either the first or second option in those sets. And a chin series essentially originates from the Princeton offense and is characterized by a guard initiating the action at the top of the key. For the Knicks, they're doing a lot of that with those high pick and rolls, as well as cuts and screens under the basket. This is typically where Bridges and OG come in, and whoever is open gets a shot and lets it put it up. And that's part of the chin series that Tibbs is running to get at least Bridges in rhythm. And even OG too. OG needs rhythm. He needs touches in order to be effective as well. And when you get those opportunities early, it allows them to build confidence throughout the game to where when you need a clutch 3 and Brunson's doubled or Cat is being blitzed at on the pick and roll, you have those guys. And they have taken shots before to get them in rhythm of the game. So they're not shooting cold. Having the thumb series are half-court sets that are used in motion offenses and used multiple ball screens where you might have 2 or 3 picks set in the same action, as well as off-ball screens to generate mismatches. And you've seen a lot of that Hart straining for Bridges to get Bridges open off-ball, and then he catches it in his sweet spots on the 2 corners. So that's a great commentary by at BD4Pod that gave me an opportunity to learn something new about chin and thumb series on offensive sets.
I appreciate that. Appreciate that for sure. We'll pick for Tibbs. And yeah, like it's funny, people, it's like I said this before, and you said this too. People are complaining about Tibbs is not running plays for Mikal Bridges. Like he's been running plays for Mikal Bridges for a very long time to get him open. Like I've noticed it's been like really noticeable. Like every first or second play has been Mikal Bridges ISO in like the mid-range somewhere. Or moving, like cutting to the area and fading away. Like it's been very clear. He's just hitting shots now, and he's just being more aggressive right now. It's not aggressive play calling. It's being aggressive.
100%. It's all about the aggression.
Yeah, or just the confidence. And I know what. And I just think he likes being at home because as soon as he got off that West Coast trip, like the shots that he was making in that mid range just came back. I think he just likes being in MSG. The mid range and the corners seem to have come back. So I'll take that. Shout out to SK who sends a $5 super chat. It says join the Blue Sky Knicks convo, Jay Ellis and the rest of the chat. Also, how do you guys see in game shape Mitch and Precious roles? Who starts at what position? That's the tough question, man. That's really the tough question because right now it's been Cam, McBride with like Mikal, and what Sims comes in for Cat. So the Sims would sit down for sure. I would guess Sims would sit down for Mitch. And then I feel like Josh Hart's been playing in that with the second unit. So maybe the Josh Hart would be Precious. So it'll be Mitch, Precious, Cam, McBride, Mikal. Maybe it might be something like that.
I'll give you what I think's going to happen, what I want to happen. I want a 10-man rotation that has Shamet. I've given up on my idea that he's going to start. I think this starting 5 is just cooking on too many cylinders. I think we had a side bet that might happen once he got bad. It has no chance in hell happening now. Josh Hart he's so perfect in that role. Disagree with Timmy that he's playing point guard. I think he's given a lot of secondary playmaking, but you can't remove him from the starting lineup because it allows Brunson to thrive off ball and give him a rest, having to orchestrate the offense and still just some catch and shoot opportunities. I think it's going to be campaign. McBride, Precious, Mitch. There's a possibility, though. That's a realistic one. There's a possibility Mitch is traded for another backup wing. Maybe someone like Milwaukee's playing better now, but a Bobby Portis is who I had in my mind. Someone who can play the 4 and the 5, hit a 3, has playoff experience. That I think it's a possibility because of how good Jericho Sims is playing, how cheap his contract is. I think he could be re-signed for probably 2 or 3 mil. But I don't want it to happen. I'm a huge Mitch fan, but I think it could. But if we don't, Mitch is obviously going to be our backup 5. Sims is out the rotation.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the Mitch. I mean, things is fluid. Things can change. Last week, they were talking about how important Mitch was because of the defensive lapses that the Knicks have had over the last week. The Knicks have looked better on defense as of recently, so maybe that changes things again. Who knows? But it's a wait and see. We have so many centers, you might think it could happen, whether it's Mitch or Precious or whoever, but it's a wait and see. I feel like Mitch is going to get a chance to play, though, for sure. Ooh pick. My ooh pick, because there's a lot of ooh picks. One ooh pick I got, Miles McBride was cross somebody, I don't know who it was. I forgot who it was. Maybe Lee remembers. Fourth quarter, garbage time, Deuce crossed somebody. He fell to the floor and he hits a 3. That was definitely a ooh, for sure.
Unfortunately, I was pretty heavy into my pork loin at that time, so I wasn't watching too hard in the fourth. It was a blowout. I waited a while for my food to eat, so I didn't want to eat it too cold. So I didn't watch too much of the fourth.
That's cool. I got another ooh, though. Another ooh. Karl-Anthony Towns trying to post up Mo Wagner. Mo Wagner hits him with the shoulder in the mouth. Bow. Karl-Anthony Towns gives the befuddled look in his face like, bitch, did you just hit me in the mouth? Looks at the ref like, bitch, you ain't gonna do nothing. After that, here's the Jordan shimmy with the fadeaway in your face. That's the
beautiful. Yeah, love that.
More oohs, more oohs for your head top. All right, I got another ooh. And this ooh was the most. This ooh wasn't even the made basket. All right, Karl-Anthony Towns has the ball, top of the key, puts the ball between his legs, not dribble, puts the ball between his legs. Does a spin pass, throws the ball behind, I don't know who guarded him, behind homie's head. Spins around like a top as he passes the ball to Mikal Bridges. Proceeds to brick the corner 3, but it was the most beautiful brick I ever saw. It rimmed out too. It rimmed out. Ooh, he would have made that. Ooh. That was great. That pass is nuts.
It was. Maybe the best pass I've ever seen. I can't think of anyone. Maybe a Jason Kidd or Prigioni pass back in the day, but that was one sick pass. Tell me from your center is what makes it so incredible.
Yeah, which brings me to your back to your Tibbs point when you talked about the emphasis on passing. Tibbs has always preached trust the pass for years. He really says the same 5 things every year. Trust the pass. The ball tells you what to do. All the Tibbisms. This is the first time we had the team where he can say trust the pass and the team can actually trust the pass. Because he's been saying trust the pass for years, and Jalen Brunson didn't trust the pass because look who he was passing to.
Right. Very true.
So 30 assists a game. Now we can truly trust the pass. All right, and we got another super chat. Yo, I'm feeling y'all being generous today. I really appreciate that.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate that. We definitely can use the support to help pay these bills for sure. You know how to pay the LLC, the new LLC thing where you got to put in the thing for the LLC before the day before it. I do that. This random stuff be popping up when you running stuff. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. But shout out to Corey Lee who sends a 5 super chat just cause. I appreciate that, Corey Lee. No message. He just wanted support, and I appreciate that. Old head, Magic Johnson type, no look with the spin. Yep. Rich says the same thing. Cat, he was Magic Johnson. Yep. Gamer Channel says when everybody comes back healthy, here's what I think the rotations are. 10-man rotation, Brunson, Bridges, OG, Cat, and Mitch. Bench equals Campaign, Deuce, El Shamet, Josh Hart, Precious Achua.
No. No.
I don't see Mitch starting.
Hell no. If Mitch was going to start, he would have already had a placeholder with Sims starting at the 5. But we haven't even seen Sims in Cat minutes, so there's no way that he's going to have them starting all of a sudden 2 bigs in the front court.
Yeah, I feel like Mitch will have spot minutes next to Cat, but I don't feel like he's going to start. I like the whole point of Cat being here is being a stretch 5 to maximize Brunson offensively. So it would behoove the Knicks to try everything they possibly can to make this team work defensively, which is why they went out and got Bridges, because they felt like that might have been the blueprint to make this team work defensively, even with the defensive shortcomings of Cat and Brunson. So they're going to try everything in their power to make that joint work.
It is working too. I think if you have those spot minutes with Mitch next to him and you have additional probably 10 to 12 next to Cat, and then you have Precious playing with OG or Precious playing with Bridges, not sure, or Hart, I think the defense is really going to be short up. You just have to figure out how do you maintain the total of 20 to 25 minutes that where Precious and Mitch are not on the floor and the starters are on the floor. That's where you really have to figure out who is guarding who, what's the pecking order, who's going to take the toughest opponent, opposing player. Those things are still being figured out, but we're starting to see a better evolution right now than before.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. That's what's up. Do I have any bruh picks? Bruh pick deals with Mo Wagner's face. I just don't like it. I ain't like all the extra pushing and shoving. Yeah, that's my bruh pick. Mo Wagner's face. Mo Wagner. Yeah, I'm good. Any book recommendations, Lee?
No, man, but I did want to give a shout out. Man, y'all follow Fritz, man. I've been keeping an eye on our boy Fritz, man. The fifth Beatle of the KOT show. I've been impressed with his takes lately. I think he's expanding a little bit beyond kind of his niche, which I have it. Everyone has a niche, right? What their specialty is. With his is kind of the business dynamics of the NBA, and he's starting to give his some actual opinions on players, and like their skill set and what he thinks they should or shouldn't do, or how they grow, or what a team needs to do in order to be a contender or not be a contender. I've been impressed with Fritz's takes, man. He's taking that most improved mantle for me. So I want to give a shout out to our guy learning and thriving and getting better as a commentator and analyst. Shout out Fritz.
All right, yo. Shout out Fritz. And shout out SK with a $5 super chat. Oh, y'all being generous today. I appreciate that. All right. It says Deuce is what I hope Frank would be early in his career. Lethal 3-point threat, great defensively, solid ball handling, organization plays, off ball too. The thing was, Frank was supposed to be more because Frank was supposed to be able to guard 1 through 4, and sometimes 5 in the pinch. You know what I mean? But I hear you though. I hear you. Shout out to Jude Reynolds who came into the TikTok chat, or did you just leave too? I don't know. Came in and out. Shout out to you anyway, even though you might not hear me. All right. That's the show though. Lee, let them know where they can find you, man.
On Twitter at _ Lee Escobedo, LEESCOBEDO.
That's right. And you can find the Knick of Time show on TikTok, first of all. All right. Shout out to the live streams on TikTok at the Knick of Time show. Also find us on Google Play, Stitcher, and all that stuff. You can also find us on Twitter at the KOT show. And you can also find us on Facebook as well at the Knick of Time show. All right. Cool. Instagram as well. Knick of Time show. We there. Even though I need to get back on Instagram. I need to get my life together. All right, that's the show. Thank you guys for watching. And you guys who've been here, you know the drill. All right? As always.
Shout out the Worldwide West. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
It's a mess out here in these Knicks YouTube streets and TikTok streets. That's the show. We out of here.
New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.